tell me a little bit before we go. Just give me a flavour of what you're up to at the moment, so that we can just capture that, and then we can hit the pause button and decide what we're going to do after that.
Okay. Well, I'm continuing because I've written a book and have this website based on a story which is tied up. It's about Aboriginal child artists in the 1940s, but it's very much related to my work on healing of intergenerational trauma. So I'm maintaining that website. I blog a couple of blog posts a week, and I go and give periodic talks and meet with my collaborator. So that's one aspect of what I'm doing, but basically I'm trying to come back into, I'm coming back into addiction recovery field by creating a lot of new content. And also I have a lot of content that was on, there's been archived on Wide Into Recovery on my other websites. Also on my computer, I have a lot of stuff, and it's never really been laid down so that it's there and will always be there. And having just read Bill White's book, Recovery Rising, where he talks about making sure we leave a legacy, so that other people, I mean, otherwise, you know, we'll just keep losing a lot of stuff. So I'm now, I think a couple of weeks ago, I put together 40 blogs and put them into the database ready to load one a day. And this morning, I put together, the last day, I've put together 10 of my old background briefings now into the database. There's 72 of those, which are those educational columns I wrote for Drink and Drug News. I've got a lot of other writings and things, and what I would like to do is get them onto the website. That's only part of the problem. Then, of course, is getting more people to look at it, and that's a lot of work. It will take time. However, my philosophy is get it there, and what I want to do is to turn it into educational programs. So once I've got it there, then I can start to create that framework. So basically, that's what I do. I'm retired. I live off a paltry British pension and my generosity of my partner. I like to think that I would spend a lot of time recreating. I go to the gym regularly, but I just find that I get tied back to the computer. I'm excited with what I'm doing, and catching up with you again has been brilliant. And to know these things are going on, you know, and also people that I met and I never wrote anything with, Stuart Honor, who set up the Basement Project, which is run by Michelle Foster, David McCartney at Leap, Noreen Oliver, who I did write a lot of stuff about, Burton Addiction Centre. But I'd like to go back and interview, and Winfred Ellis Owen in Cardiff, to go back and see what these people are doing now and what's going on, and get that out there. And also maybe the stories of people who weren't in treatment that we discussed on Saturday. A lot of people, if not more people, recover without treatment. And I mean recover from serious problems. So wouldn't it be lovely to find some of those people and get their stories? So that's what I'm doing at that front. The most important thing now in what I'm doing is keeping my fingers crossed that Britain gets itself sorted out over there so I can come back and see my children. But yeah, I mean, no doubt I'll be writing more stories. And then also I keep in close touch with my Aboriginal friends who are running this healing program here, because there is no doubt I have learned a lot, and we won't talk here, but I've learned a lot from Aboriginal people in terms of Indigenous people, not just Aboriginal Australians, who have a different, more holistic view of healing, where story is really key. And so I've learned from them, and we both know, those people and myself know, that what we need to take is the best from both worlds, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, and also take things from our world that are not out there enough in our field. And we were talking about that on the other day, on things like asset-based community
Yeah.
development, which Cormac Russell and his team and UK and the Americans have been promoting. We need, and the trauma, I want to bring that, I know so much more about trauma healing now. I want to bring that into the addiction recovery field. So I feel that one thing I've learned over the years, and I hope it doesn't sound too big-headed, I think I've got the ability to judge what is the good stuff out there. And when you see Bill White's Zimberg lecture, his major lecture, and the first part of 10 has only got 9,000 views after 10 years or whatever, we're not doing a good enough job in getting that stuff out there. Bill White's stuff needs to be really out there.
And in many ways, you know, I see you as significant in that. You know, it makes me laugh really, because, you know, here I am talking to you. I feel like a kind of a nobody scout from somewhere talking to a Premiership player.
No, I turn it around the other way, because you've been there, you've taken the journey.
But you're to me, you're in the league of the Bill Whites and, you know, David Bests and the John Kellys and all of those people. Yes, they're current and they've continued on that journey, but you haven't continued on the addiction recovery journey in the way that you were doing before in the Wired In. But the stuff you've done with the Carol Up story and the stuff in Australia around trauma and Indigenous communities has been a really rich detour, you know, in many ways. And the fact that you're coming back and bringing that knowledge with you, I'm quite excited for us as a field of recovery to have your voice back in it.